Hi, everybody. So, Z and I are here together. We're going to talk about the energies today, and we're both on a trip. So, we're running around the world right now. But the energies are intense and really kind of beautiful right now. At least I woke up yesterday and I felt like a lot of stuff had shifted.
Mhm.
So, how are you feeling, Z?
Today I'm feeling really good. It's like a settling type of a day. The
Mhm.
weekend was a very big push. We had a lot of energy coming through, and that was really for clarity on pathways and purpose. And
Mhm.
so, and it was a lot of light frequencies. It was a lot of solar flare, and it did create a lot of clarity, and it also just made a lot of shifts. So, just settling down. Mm.
Yeah, it was crazy. Monday, I drove for 14 hours and I could feel the energy changing as I was going. And I was like, ooh, I got to clear the energy here. I need to do this. And the wind,
Mhm.
which is the clearing energy after a big change, was massive.
Oh
And
yeah.
I have this molding on top of the windshield, and it doesn't really do anything except for cover the top of the windshield, and it tore off. So it
Oh.
tore off on the freeway from the wind, and I was like, this is not cool. I didn't like it, and I was worried about it. But once I got off and I realized what it was like, okay, well, that happened. But we have
That's
things
funny.
happening that may be kind of shocking, I
Mhm.
think, because there's so much clearing going on.
So much. And cleansing. I mean, it's a really it's a turn it into a perspective of it's quite the dance right now. And I love to keep it at
Mhm.
that adventurous dance because it's very unknown. You're not exactly sure what you're going to get with the frequency. And that's to bring it back into let's trust this process right now because we don't exactly know all the answers.
No, we don't have them all. And we're also just kind of rolling with it, and let it play out and just kind of take care of yourself as it does, you know.
Right.
Don't get too serious about it because then it gets stuck.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's interesting to watch all the things going on in the world, and you can see that the energy is driving all of that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and the solar stuff, which I've really been trying to push. It comes from the soul, so it's called
Mhm.
solar.
Mhm. Mhm. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're all up there. That means you too out there. You're up there
Exactly.
contributing. Hmm.
Uh-huh. You're the one that is creating the solar flare for yourself for change.
Yeah. And it just occurred to me probably a couple of weeks ago, you know, that that's what's actually happening. And it's like we're figuring it out as we go, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
too.
Uh-huh.
So be willing to lean into change, I guess I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the hard not hard. I don't want to use the word hard, but lack of better verbiage. That's the biggest drive there. So hit that anytime you feel that change. It's going to be uncomfortable. The uncomfortable also comes in with intuition as you're learning how to
Mhm.
work with intuition. Because intuition really is change. It really is asking you, we're here to transform. So you're going to make that step. Here's a clarity path. So intuition and change are very much so co-aligned and they connect with each other. And I would definitely say, really feel into that. And it's okay that it's uncomfortable and eventually the uncomfortable is going to be start to be fun because you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. And you're going to feel like it's exciting to be surprised by things. And they're never, something that's really, really detrimental. It doesn't feel like anymore. Like we've kind of come through that unless you decide to do something like that and force yourself into change. So if you're willing to change and you're moving through it, you're not going to have those big, huge things. But I remember when I was first learning about my higher self, and the person that had introduced me to it was like, yeah, so if you don't do what you're being asked to do, first you get a feather, then you get an apple, like somebody's throwing an apple at you, and then the third time you get a truck. And it's like it really behooves us to go through change and to be looking for the signs that are asking us to change, because then it's not as hard.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
easier and it's more fun.
It is, and it
Yeah,
gets funner and funner as you go,
it does. Yeah.
especially if you're viewing this as a giant game.
Mhm. Which it is. And so, can you describe a little bit about the game? Because I've been talking about it's a learning game, and I always get the word folded. So, when we start a new one, we fold up the old one, but it's just like a board game, basically,
It
much more
is.
fancy.
Definitely more fancy. Well, and fancy just depends on whoever's perspective is working through,
Mhm.
right? So, for me, I would perceive it as like it could be Monopoly, although it's far more magical
Intricate.
than that. Exactly, intricate, more magical. And here's the thing with that is I'm the only one on this board game. Right? It's only
Mhm.
me and my sole perspective, because I am the singularity point, just like every single one of you is a singularity point. You're the one that's controlling the entire board game. So it's then understanding, okay, I'm in a game right now. How am I wanting to play this? That first thing to that is I'm taking ownership for the choices and actions and things that I have chosen down here, where I'm at, what body and vessel I'm in, and then, okay, what choices am I making with this now? And then once that change, the ability to lean into that change comes into that, you have the ability to manipulate energy. Really, that's what change is.
Yeah. And it's really easy the more you get into it, the more you do it. And you allow your subconscious to know that you can do it too.
Hmm.
Because when you haven't allowed that yet, then you don't think you're really in control. So you want to make sure that you talk to your subconscious. I mean, you can program it just like it's been programmed by something else.
Absolutely.
So just say, I'm in control of my own game and I'm in control of my own life and everything that I see, you
Hmm.
know, and make that your little mantra for a while. And then you'll become in control of it and it'll become more and more fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And take the time that you need with that. There's still some conscious programming coming up and out to get itself cleared out. And so those overlays or those realities that you're seeing or feeling or sensing that you feel are still kind of blocking the pathway, those are a part of the game, and it's really good to be like, hey, this is a part of my game. This is I tend to, for myself, break it down and be like, none of this is real. I'm an aspect of consciousness, right? I'm projecting into this lovely little game, and I'll usually like put my game goggles on, whichever lens that I want to see through, right? To be like, hey, this is a lens that I'm looking through. So to turn that from I'm feeling this is a struggle, to, oh, I've made a choice in this, there's something here, and I can also shift that lens.
Yeah, we can shift it. You can melt it. You can do whatever you need to do with it just to get it out of your way. And think about things. Take the time to take a breath and think about,
Hmm.
ooh, do I like this or not like this? Because I think what has been our habit is to get like stuck in it and get tunnel vision. And now, if you can take a breath and step out of it and say, ooh, well, I don't like that. So I'm not going to do that anymore. It changes everything as you go forward. And
Right.
that's been something we all had to learn how to do.
Yep.
It's just stepping out. Hmm.
Absolutely. Really understanding that every tiny thing that you're perceiving is a construct. It's a thought form. So knowing that and taking ownership for it, you can be like, okay, there's a piece that feels like it's struggling. Obviously, I'm believing something. There's something here. Where then can I make the shift? Can I burn it up? Can I just clear it? And there's all the different platforms to do that, which is now getting easier and easier.
much easier than it used to be. Like I know when I was working with energy before at the beginning of all of this and healing and doing all these things, like it was wearing me out, like it would wear me out. And
Mhm.
now I don't feel worn out at all by using energy. So I actually feel good afterwards. So it's a big change. We've really
Mhm.
popped up, you know, in the density. And I feel like a lot of us are like at the very edge of fourth density, like we're at the good edge, the higher edge of fourth density. And we're really close to so many amazing things. And we feel it already.
Yep.
Like I already feel it and I'm enjoying it and I'm grateful for it. And when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, so glad that we're where we are,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, we're on the brink of that, and from my perspective, that fourth density is just an awareness that there is a fourth density and that there's
Mhm.
higher than that.
Yes.
And with that being said, the ability to fully embody all of those, because that's what we're doing here. We're embodying all of those frequencies, all of those levels, dimensions, parallels in this reality by understanding that they're out there and we have the ability to be at all of them or not at all of them if we choose to be.
Mhm. Yeah. And you can feel your soul more too
Mhm.
now. And I feel like um, I noticed that really heavily yesterday, but it kind of came in the night before. You could
Mhm.
feel it. And it's like the path, is more clear for that, like you said.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've cleared a lot of pathways for that so that the soul perspective can really move through the vessel and the body, and have an easier ability to work the pathway, not have as many blocks, take inspired action. It is becoming quicker and easier as we're making the realizations of the density shifts.
Hmm. Yeah. I just love it. There was somebody talking about the game, like, I don't know how long ago it was, probably a few months ago. And she was getting a lot of flack for calling it a game. And she was kind of cranky about it because of all that. And I feel like she was playing it in a different way than we are. Like there wasn't a whole lot of joy in it,
Hmm.
but she realized what it was. And people haven't wanted to hear that until now because the Matrix is a constructed game. And we're moving into seeing more and more of reality. That's why so many things in the
Hmm.
sky are appearing.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We're all collectively choosing into that process of seeing that, because those guys have always been there. Now they're just super
Yeah.
happy that we're like, oh hey, look, there's something there.
Yeah, and they're feeling the waves of it too, like all the waves of consciousness coming from us when we're like releasing stuff. I can see them like going woo there,
Yep.
like they're on a bit of a roller coaster ride with us.
Oh sure. Uh-huh.
So yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have to say, everybody, like, just a minute of congratulations and celebration, because this is the farthest that we've come, and it is really pure joy. Even though some of us might be still working through programs and things like that,
Mhm.
it is a massive celebration for everybody right now.
It's so good. You can feel the joy of it, the feeling of it, like through the collective, especially at people who have been working through it for a while.
Mhm.
But then there's also people I've noticed that some of their big stuff is now at the surface.
Mhm.
So if you're hearing things that feel really negative, check and see with yourself, ask. So is that something I really think is real, or is that part of what their program is?
Mhm.
And ask that question before you try and figure out whether it's real or not. Just ask, is that their program?
Mhm.
Or, why did I attract it? Is it like a test that I need to clue into if I still feel that way? Because there's some pretty interesting things people are saying right now. And I'm like,
Very much so.
no, people send them to me and I'm like, no, that's not what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Uh, with that being said, there is a lot of quantum shifting in the matrix. So those puzzle pieces are getting shifted to find a co-aligning side point or another piece. And so things are coming up to be said. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're real or even a part of the reality. It's just the shift right now. And the source and consciousness is doing that repatterning in that format. So if you even find yourself speaking up in something that just doesn't sound right, doesn't even sound like you, it's not to get attached to it. Obviously, if
mhm.
there's a feeling there or something moving through your body, that might be something to take a look at, obviously. But try not to get attached to things right at the moment because it can be really interesting to work those processes and be like, oh, I'm saying this is not anything to do. And then all of a sudden it'll shift and you'll be like, I don't even know what I said because source is working that process.
Yeah. And it's like when you go shopping for clothes or something, like if you're not attracted to it, then just don't buy it.
Hmm.
We don't need it. So it can be very easy. And I think we as a group have thought some things are really big and some things are small.
Hmm.
Like, are you going to buy this new shirt or are you going to listen to this person? And I think really you can let go of either one because both of them you can just let
Right.
go of easily. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So,
And
yeah.
the letting go, the non-attachment is really important right now because it's shifting so quickly that in order to really stay stabilized in yourself, it's really having to let go of anything possible that's shifting out of your way for alignment. So just so you
Hmm.
know that's a thing. If you're seeing something, it's looking great, just realize it might shift within a per second moment. And so keeping yourself centered and knowing yourself and being as aligned in yourself as possible is going to be your best mode of action during this
Yeah.
period.
It's totally shifting. And you can see the timeline shifting too. Like, I had this guy in front of me, and then I passed him, and he had this mattress with this weird frayed blanket over the top of it in the back of his pickup truck on the freeway.
Mhm.
And he was behind me and he wasn't passing. And then probably 20 minutes later, as I was, kept going down the freeway, he was in front of me. So you just don't know like what the timelines are shifting like.
Mhm.
And if you don't get very attached, but to me it was like, oh, that's funny. Supposed to be back there, but he's up there.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just, it's part of what's going on and it's good. And just letting it kind of fall apart, some of that stuff is helping your mind get used to it and let go of stuff. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. Uh, and find the humor in it. Right now, it really is quite funny to see what's happening.
Yeah.
I know I have a little joke that I play on myself universally, and I know timelines are shifting when I see a particular same vessel walk across the street, same guy. Every time I'm like, oh look, there he is again, and then all of a sudden it's a nice giant shift, but it's pretty
Mhm.
hilarious. So find the humor in it, create jokes with the universe right now because that's also a good way to process this information that's coming through for clarity for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. It's so fun right now. And that's what we're going to be doing too at the beginning of June is helping
Hmm.
like lift those veils that are in front of whatever your gift is,
Uh-huh.
you know, because it's there. You just have a little wall in front of it. So we're going to help
Absolutely.
you tear those down. Hmm.
Absolutely. We're going to help you tear those down yourself. How about
Yes.
that? That's what we're going
Yeah.
to do. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So the gift activations, you might just be really in this paradigm right now because the gifts are a really big thing. They're there. They've always been there. We're just realizing that they've always been there. That they're our own unique aspect coming through to this right now. Running through this, and this is something that I worked through Source this last weekend. Is really push the drive to seeing your own personal gift. All of them, every single one of them, because we all have many of them.
Yeah, we do. And we don't acknowledge them. Sometimes you're actually using them all the time and you don't acknowledge what they are. But they're like, it's like we're expanding them right now, even though they were there the whole time. It's like when you recognize, then it gets bigger. And it's been really fun to start working more with energy and doing more things that you didn't realize you could do too. So enjoy them
Hmm.
is the main thing. You know, we're done with a lot of the more dense, yucky feelings when it comes to moving energy and doing stuff like that. So we're doing it in a lighter, happier way.
Absolutely, we are in a very joyful way. And as far as those gifts go, moving through this piece, like the opening up for the gifts from all the parallels are coming through every tiny aspect of you, which is the entire universe, really. So, your particular essence, that's going to be coming through within this year, further and further and further, because those are going to be necessary and needed. Uh, and I'm excited just to see. How much we grow within this next year, how many of our gifts start to come out and be present and are just there, and how many more that we get to actually learn, because that's another thing too, is we're also learning all kinds of new gifts.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you come together with people, they're going to spark more gifts within you because their gift may spark something in you. And
Mhm.
it's just really been a beautiful experience and it's getting better and better all the time. And I had to
Mhm.
remind myself of that today, actually.
Mhm.
So, you come up on things that maybe you've done before and it didn't work out that well. You're like, that was in the past and it can work out well this time in a
Yeah.
different way.
Mhm.
So it's been really amazing. And I'm really grateful for everything that's happening. And I'm excited
Mhm.
to help activate people.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, so excited about this.
yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be really, really, really good. And essentially, just another message is that's coming through is we are now really in the time of coming back into community and co-collaboration. That's really what Unity Consciousness is bringing us back into. And the more that we have the ability to be around our people, our soul people, our tribe, however you want to state that for yourself, family, the more we're going to get activated, the more we can work together, the more all of us are going to flourish in the way that we want. This is not a period of being alone anymore.
Hmm. Yeah. It feels so good. And it really is kind of come together in a way. And so join groups, get into groups, get into things that you think will make you happy, even if it's like something that's not that awake, you know, like go join the painting club. Maybe you'll find somebody that you really jive with, or the gardening group, or whatever it is, if you
Hmm.
want to, if you feel moved to do it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. And then somebody will show up too, because they just show up if you're allowing them to. Yeah.
Yeah, they will, and that is the open space to being like, hey, there are other people here. They are coming. I'm going to listen to myself. Right now, as far as what I can see shifting in our collective, it's a really beautiful process to see people coming back together.
Hmm. Yeah. And we're going to be doing projects soon. Like, it feels so good. Yeah. For projects. Like,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, we could do this and we could do this, and this feels good. Yeah. So it's like they're starting to open up, like they're a flower and they're just starting to open up. And I feel like prosperity in general, like abundance, is
Hmm.
about to be here. And it's trickling in now, like it's
It is.
starting to come in now.
Hmm.
So that's been really beautiful too.
Yeah, very massively. And
Mhm.
the understanding of what abundance is, right? In all
Yes.
things. So that is, it's been so rich. It's been so beautiful with
Mhm.
that, with all of that coming in. It makes me very, very excited to just continue up with our process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good time to be alive right now. Like,
Hmm.
it's a good time to have a player in the game, you know? And it's a great time for your inner child. Like, they are blossoming right now.
Yes.
They're just like,
Yep.
ta-da, I'm here. So anything you can do for your inner child as well is great.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything joyful, anything playful. Really listen to yourself right now, because the timing again is not exactly what you think it is. It might be I need to rest for the period of the day. It might
Mhm.
be you only take one action that day, right? And then you go outside to play. So really just watch and be aware of what's shifting and moving in and around you. Any thought forms that are coming in, if they don't co-align with you, slam them down real quickly. Not in my reality. Don't need them
Yeah.
here.
Let them go.
Yep. Hmm.
Yep. Well, this was fun. Thank you, Z.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
love these little talks, these little like updates of what we're doing. And I feel like we're really have come so far right now.
Mhm. Very
So,
much
and
so.
you can see it in the world.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You can see it. Yeah. It's amazing. So,
We're doing it. We're doing it.
yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you,
Love you guys.
everybody. Love you so much.
Bye.